Hello, today I'm going to talk about battery charging. Battery charging is really boring, but I have too many chargers and I would like to share what I know about them, so maybe anyone watching this can make better decisions and spend less money than I have. So, when I started out, I got these IMAX B6s, which I think most people start out with when they get started. They can do a total of, I want to say, 4 amps on a 4 cell battery, so they're good at charging one battery at a time. I thought, oh, I'll get two, and then I can charge two batteries at a time, but that didn't go too far. Now I use them for my goggles. So there's a goggle pack. That one there sits pretty much useless, but it is on. That's a power supply I got for cheap from a friend, and I don't even know. It's like a 12 volt, maybe 10 amps or something. It's more than enough for these two little guys. So then I wanted to go bigger. So I got this thing. This is the iCharger 106B. You can see that it's not even turned on right now. I have it in an ammo can with a 4-channel parallel board. These parallel boards are actually pretty rad. This is back when I was on 4 cell, but you can see that it has these little fuses here. They're called, what are they, parafuses? They're resettable. So essentially, if the current gets too high, they'll blow, in air quotes, which just stops current from flowing, and then once they cool down, they'll allow it to flow again. So this board has fuses on each of the XT60s, real fuses that I've blown and have had to replace because I'm an idiot. And I use car fuses. I think they come with like 40 amp fuses, and I put 5 amps in here. This means that each battery shouldn't be able to get more than 5 amps, which I think is fine. One thing about charging I'm going to talk about in a second is that our mini quad batteries are really small in comparison to what people have been charging before, like big airplanes or helicopters. So our needs are a lot different than their needs. So this is a good little charger, but there are other options out there now. After I got that, though, I decided I wanted the big thing. So this is the GT500. It can do something like 40 amps. I don't know. It can do 500 watts. But again, it only has one output. So I have it on that same parallel board I just talked about rather. And these are the fuses. That looks like a 10 amp fuse. That's probably just what I had in my little box when I was putting this thing together. The first thing I do is pull the 40 amp fuses out. Sometimes they're soldered in like this one, and I haven't bothered to go unsolder it. But these ones are replaceable, so that's what I do. One thing you'll note is that on these parallel boards, I have all these extensions. If you want to parallel charge your batteries and not have like them unplugging themselves or you trying to shove them in there, these extensions are magic. They're so great. I get them on Banggood. I think this particular one came from Hobby King. This one has like PVC coated wire, and the Banggood ones, like this one here, have silicone wires, so they're just a little bit, they feel better. I don't think it matters, honestly, since you're just using them for charging. But, you know, I'll put links to both if I can find them. So the GT500 is great. It has all this power, but I don't use any of it, right? Because I'm charging at most 4 mini quad packs, and I'm using 6S 1000s. So that means if I want to charge at 1 or 2C or 3C, I'm doing maybe 12 amps, and this thing can do 40, so it's not particularly useful. So then I got into this. This is sort of a monster, but it's just a bunch of little chargers, right? This is 4 of them. The ISDT SC608, I got 2 of those. They don't sell them anymore, so I also have 2 of these ISDT Q6s. This is the Q6 Lite, which will do 8 amps, and this is the Q6 Pro or whatever, which will do 14 amps. I have those hooked up to a server power supply that I got for, I want to say, 30 bucks or something. The other 2 that aren't on right now are on this power supply up here. All of these are actually hooked into a weird squid wire thing that I made. So I have one XT60 going in, which is actually kind of warm. I never noticed that. And then all of these chargers branch off of that. So that's not necessary, but believe it or not, there aren't a whole lot of ways to split XT60s a bunch of ways. One thing that's really cool, I got this a while ago, and they're hard to find too, is this, it's like a power strip for 12 volts. So this goes to my power supply on one end, and then it goes to all my chargers on the other end. So you can plug multiple chargers using these banana plugs into one power supply, and you can turn them off and on. So that was this guy over here. Alright, so back to the discussion. Generally a charger that's twice as big costs twice as much, so it makes as much sense just to get 2 chargers that are half the size for our mini quad packs. I'm sort of a wimp. I like to charge at 1C. So this thing right here is now charging 5 batteries at once, and it's charging at 4 amps right now. So it doesn't matter how big and cool your charger is, it matters what you end up plugging into it. And on that respect, I would suggest getting more smaller chargers as opposed to fewer, more expensive, larger chargers. This case right here, I want to say was 30 bucks. It is a knockoff of the Pelican case, and it works just great. And then I had this little BEC wired on a switch to light the thing, mostly for my garage and the horse barn because the horse barn's pretty dark. This is a Bardwell board. This is kind of cool because it can do 10 packs. I'm not going to put 10 packs on it ever, but it has that option, and they're all 6S. So it sacrifices the versatility of one of these ones here, which has all the different sized balance plugs, but it gives you a lot more packs. One issue I have had with this Bardwell board is that if I don't put enough packs on it, if I'm only charging 1 or 2, then my charger will alarm saying that the battery isn't connected. I think maybe this thing here, can you read those LEDs? It cycles through the LEDs. And I think when it's cycling, it might temporarily, just momentarily disconnect them. Sorry, cycle through the cells using this LED readout. I think it might momentarily disconnect them, and I think that might anger the charger. So as great as this Bardwell board is, it doesn't work if you only want to charge 1 or 2 packs. You have to put at least 3 or 4 on there, or the charger itself alarms and stops, and you got to restart it. Alright, this video is already longer than I wanted it to be, so I'll stop now. Hopefully this is useful to you guys. If it is, let me know. Thanks a lot. Bye.